So, so this is almost a year and a half, no? A year and a half that we have. But during this period of time, of course, generally, the minute we stopped a little bit more activity, I think the environment become more clean. So that's one thing to say, wow, we are talking a lot, but looks like the answer is maybe a little bit slow down, a little bit slow down, so that even the general, the environment. So, then one thing, of course, so many things in our life we take it for granted, and then now we really see, when the things change, we felt that there's a preciousness that we miss every time. So that's, I think, is a really good awakening. So that's, I think, is one thing. So now we are opening. Then now maybe we a little bit not forgetting those awakening that we have, that realization, and maybe all these teaching from COVID that we learned. So I think it's a really important that we, really trying to kind of being mindfulness and really not taking for granted and really appreciating in every moment. And I think that's, these things are, I think, really, of course, there's a lots of during this period of time, lots of people have a really, really, really difficult times. And now people who have a Dharma, maybe there's something to the external conditions are closing and dissolving, but then maybe the spiritual practice, you can kind of only option left to taking refuge into the Dharma practice. And maybe that's this one, fortunate that I heard in South India, in monasteries, these people are doing so many retreats that they have so many initiation they receive. Okay, this is the time to do a retreat, and they're having like able to the commitments of a retreat. Because everybody, usually there's so many excuses, distractions, and like teaching here, teaching there, going here and there. Oh, and everybody get perfect opportunity to do all the fulfilling the retreat commitments. My classmates and Geshes, they're like, yeah, I'm doing this retreat, and after this, I'm going to do this retreat. It was like a really, and I also I heard like because of the distraction is naturally kind of like there's no excuse, so the education and study and practice also kind of improved really good. So anyway, now key point over here, I think, Buddha's teaching is teaching of mind, to learning about the mind. And end of the day, our life is run by mind. Our life is run by mind, so we need to really know about the mind. And I think that all the teaching, like Sutrayana teaching, Tantrayana teaching, is how to not only learn about the mind, but only able to get realization of the capability of a mind, but really how we can put into the right direction mind. Basically one project. Let's wrestling with the mind. So really that's it, the mind. Like it's, when you say meditation, it's all about, sometimes we think I'm trying to doing something. I think we need to see a slight different way, like it's not about a doing, it's about being and really trying to learn. It's all about mind. It's all about mind. Going for refuge is about the mind. Bodhicitta is about the mind. Loving kindness is, and giving is really, at the end of the day, it's about your mind to transform. So mind to abide, being like a sun, being like a moon, being like a space. omnipresent. So I think that for us, Dharma practice is we need to see as a project of mind. I have a project, I have this project. My morning project is my morning commitment. And my morning commitment is basically, word commitment looks like strange, but I have a small project working with my mind. Maybe we change the name instead of saying commitment. I have this project. I'm working in this project. This project. What's that project? That project is my mind. Maybe we need to retreat, commitment, and then this looks like kind of not really coming back to the point. So basically, fundamentally, somehow the mind, without the mind, this is just like a, form, just form. Just form without the mind. So here, so I think we need to orient our own self. Spiritual practice or Dharma practice is a project of a mind that I'm working to reconditioning or I'm working with my mind. We need to treat it as like a project. So then I think if we look from that point of view, then we say like, whoa, it looks like crazy. This project is crazy project to involve where I'm going to start, from where I'm going to start, so now I think what is important for over here is, although we have there's this kind of, we're treating our daily practice as a project of the mind, that I'm doing some project related with the mind. So usually when you're doing some project outside or you're doing some renovating and something, maybe the most problem is like the supply didn't came, it didn't arrive, I ordered in Amazon, didn't arrive, or it went to wrong direction or something like that. Usually can happen. But in this case, the challenge will be the habit. It's not about things doesn't arrive on the time, everything's there, but we have too much. And the habit. So I think basically, so the question comes, if I treat as a project, and then when you look at our own commitments or daily practice, and how what kind of plan plan and suggestion it is giving from this daily practice for project of a mind. And I think most important part is whatever commitment we're doing and whatever the project that you think I need to do that, are they communicating or not? There's a lot of, sometimes it's in the, oh, my teacher gave me, I received this initiation, so he gave me, so I'm doing this. This doesn't have a personally something, is like a imposed, and we are just kind of like carrying on. So of course, when something's where we treat our practice as an imposed and something you're trying to kind of carry on, of course, you won't be too personal, and it's just kind of imposed project, so it doesn't really. So I think what important for us is, okay, you see this daily practice and you have a commitment. They're all really wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Now, what is really personally communicating? Okay, what I'm basically what my habits are interfering in my daily life and my daily commitment. Are they in the same page or they are in a different direction? So basically, I think way to starting our project of the mind, instead of saying daily commitment, project of mind, I think fundamentally is so how we're going to start. Now I think the way to start is basically not only maybe look into our daily practice and our daily habits, and are they communicating? Are they relevant? Are they communicating? Maybe writing down and looking into, like, okay, so lots of in our daily practice. Now let's just say, okay, daily meditation is a popular daily practice. Okay, everybody, you maybe have a high yoga tantra initiation, or you don't have anything, but worldwide, general speaking, daily meditation or yoga, it becomes kind of like a daily practice. So like obviously, like a mindfulness and these things becomes a daily, this kind of practice becomes very, because I think it is a very simple, straightforward, communicates directly our daily habits, which is a distraction. Tremendous distractions there. And due to distracted mind, it doesn't become productive. And big company or small company or individual, everybody wants to be productive. And therefore, I think it's very simple, the habit, and clear. So yeah, I need to meditate. Not only yoga and stretching, that's not only enough, but I need to slow down my mind. I need to slow down my mind. So there is a very clearly communication and interaction, very clear. So I think it's a very, very important to kind of like laying down. And then next will become like when you're looking into our daily commitments, and they will be like going for refuge, and they will be, generating bodhicitta. So like, okay, going for refuge, what that communicates with my own daily habit. My daily habit is full of paranoia. Distraction is one thing. Now we have another habit of a paranoia, fear, and a paranoia, and it's like and the paranoias are like daydreaming, scary, different type of a movie, can be action, can be horror, can be all this kind of scary things. So the paranoia is the fundamental we have to deal, And distraction is kind of like one kind of like all over. The paranoia is more specialist. Paranoia, we need to really, we can have a non-distracted kind of like a calming down, but here the storm of a paranoia comes, like fear, kind of all this paranoia. Paranoia is a very, 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 so how we, and definitely put the pain and heaviness into the trauma, into our emotion. Paranoia is much more danger than distraction. Distraction is like overall creating the condition, and the paranoia, as I mentioned, as a specialist, is really so in so small dosage of a paranoia can damage, scar, and emotionally very deeply. So therefore, therefore, our practice of refuge, we need to really connect with our experience of a paranoia. Paranoia of whatever. Paranoia with your job, paranoia with your friendship, your relationship, your organization, or whatever paranoia in a local level to the international level, whatever paranoia. This paranoia is a very, very, it's kind of like a pandemic. It is kind of just, my paranoia can create another paranoia. It can spread very easily. So basically, what I'm saying is, if we feel like, if I experience a little bit paranoia today, I need to do a little bit more serious and sincere refuge practice tomorrow. Otherwise, there's no another option. If I don't go to the practice of refuge a little bit more kind of serious and more deeper, that paranoia will be tomorrow 10 times bigger. If I don't, it is just like a fire. It may able to kind of like a, put down a little bit, but the deep is stay there. So practice of refuge, something that we do in our daily, basically our paranoia, our daily experience of paranoia and our practice of refuge need to be connected. Okay, so going for refuge, doing a refuge practice is a really kind of, almost like a training. You are trying to training to mind to leave behind perceptions of a paranoia and trying to have this kind of like a slowly cultivating some kind of trust. So the word trust is kind of a little bit strange to use. It's basically environment, awareness environment where you create absence of a paranoia. So basically, in a kind of like an environment, in like a wearing mask, you're just kind of creating environment that it doesn't kind of like protects everybody. So going for refuge, it protects yourself and protects another. Almost, going for refuge is like, taking a mask. You can say, you are kind of like protecting from all the paranoias. So practice. So basically, so this kind of like a connecting. So anytime the number one, what we have to do is first protect, and that protection start with the practice of refuge. Is this mine? Yes. So then again, when you look into the practice of a refuge itself, it looks like, I'm surrendering for Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and, we have this kind of like a surrendering kind of like I'm surrendering, and something almost like a more like a kind of a little bit more feeling of a passive. I'm kind of like in the West, you do like what that means. This mudra comes from West, no? What's that? It's like a bowing. It's kind of mudra of bowing. So, so maybe when we do refuge instead like this, I go for refuge with the house. Anyway, I don't know. It's coming from comes from far in. Okay. Anyway, so what I'm saying over here is. Practice of refuge, I will say 80% is creating the protection or absence of a paranoia. That individual have to do it. And maybe, 20 or 30% that have more in trust or conviction or something like that. But usually how we treat the practice of refuge is like 90% is about trust. Somehow I trust you, you fix my problem. I go for refuge Buddha Dhamma Sangha fix my problem. That's kind of deal. Going for refuge is almost like a retreating. Okay, I did that. I accumulated merit. my marriage have insurance, now you need to, you need to fix my paranoia. No, I think we need to little bit recondition our refuge practice. So I think 80% of a practice of a refuge, of a creation, of a protection, of absence of a paranoia. Absence of a paranoia. When you're doing refuge of practice, you're intentionally setting inner environment, absence of a paranoia. Yeah, that looks really complicated, So of course it have a really step by step. It's a long, First thing what we do, I think absence of a paranoia can be just kind of intentionally non-engaging, intentionally non-reacting. Intentionally, I want to intentionally kind of like a mind to get out from these kind of thoughts. That's making no, I'm eating the wrong food. Sometimes we just say, I eat really unhealthy food. We have a very less way of expressing. If you go today, one time you go to McDonald's and you eat, maybe today you will, in your thought, you'll think, today I ate really bad food. But then I think we have to have I also have really these negative thoughts. There's this kind of like a little bit awareness that I want to read. I've been judgmental. My mind went through lots of paranoia. I need to stop that. I need to stop that. That's kind of like a self-communication and self-acknowledgement, I think, is really important. Otherwise, if I don't tell myself, who's going to tell? Nobody knows what's going in my thoughts. So it's only left myself. So therefore, each of us is intentionally, just trying to, the way to creating absence of a paranoia is a step number one, just a setting the gesture in the practice of a refuge. You're kind of like, you're disengaging into the state of a paranoia. That itself is already a process of healing. If we don't kind of like a disengaging and you just keep feeding the paranoia, keep feeding, this and this and that. And we can have a 12-year retreat on paranoia or like 30-year retreat in paranoia, and it can go on and on. It can go endless. It can go kind of like, so I will say creating, so basically in the practice of a refuge, 80% at the beginning, 80% is just creating absence of a paranoia. And then 30%, then once we improve that strength, able to create that absence of a paranoia, more genuine, more stable, more deeper, more kind of like a grounded, then conviction and faith almost naturally arise. I think we don't need to make a logic and reasons too much push. Sometimes mind, when you trying to convince too much, sometimes when you're trying to do analytical meditation, you're trying to convince too much, mind is so intelligent. Yeah, I know, I'm not going to buy that. It will counter analytical meditation, apply and say, no, I'm not going to buy it. So it is a really working with the mind is, yes, we need to think and analyze and aware, very important. End of the day, I think is lots of space, creating that space to able to awakening the ascertainment, either in emptiness or either in the refuge practice. So that's all things. When we come trying to creating this kind of discernment and ascertainment in a wisdom-related practice or method-related practice with the busy thoughts and emotions, I think it doesn't never really works. So I think therefore I think it's a very, very important the working with the paranoia. Okay, paranoia. Then you see in our daily practice, bodhicitta motivation. Bodhicitta motivation. And that's also what is our motivation? When we wake up, we sleep, we get up, what is our motivation? What is our vision? And I think in our life, teaching about bodhicitta is basically trying to teach to dream vision, having our own personal vision. And bodhicitta is the recommendation, these kind of things here. So again, we have this life. Sometimes I need to do something. Okay, this energy we have that. So motivation, I think we have to dream something. Now, of course, another problem in the practice of a bodhicitta motivation in our daily practice is a really challenge and habit that we have in our daily life. Oh, you are not worth it, you cannot do it, you have not. We have almost this, our own karmic version of a Heart Sutra that we recite our own self. I don't have this, I don't have that. Not the nose and eyes, but another. I'm not worth it, I'm not this. This is our karmic version of a Heart Sutra. I'm not this, I'm not good enough, I'm not, no, kind of like a no list of a no list. So this is again, why this is there is a karmic, and this is everybody. We all have this one, and this need to be, if we doesn't really do something with this, we may end up unhappy, high graduate degree in unhappy in some kind of field. Professional, highly educated, having professional job, with absolutely not happy because we haven't really looked at this karmic Heart Sutra that we have. Know this, know that, know that, know that, know that, know that. Even though you can be conventionally looks very successful, but that Heart Sutra really kind of like pull you down really badly. I know this, I know that, I'm this. So again, like how we deal with this one, this is a big issue. Okay, so bodhicitta, this training, bodhicitta training, this bodhicitta, we call, this program, bodhicitta program. Let's just work with the bodhicitta program, and this program is decoding this karmic nasty things that tell us all the time, Heart Sutra, know this, know that, know that. So again, not only being absence of a paranoia, but we need a driven energy and having this kind of movement forward. And so otherwise we become kind of like a stoned, only just absence of paranoia, and becomes like if there's no inspiration and kind of motivation, then kind of like a stoned, kind of like spaced out. So for us, every day is new life. Every day is a fresh life. It's, what we can do, shooting very far, dreaming very in far. That's kind of like, as we know in the conventional world, everybody's a dream. Bodhicitta is exactly, is pushing suggestion like, okay, I want to liberate entire sentient being. I'm doing this for all purpose, for all sentient being. And like, seriously, you can sort of, maybe you can kind of, but I think it is a, that kind of mindset, that kind of like a dreaming very further, can reduce this karmic Heart Sutra that we recite our own self all the time. if we don't counter respond for this karmic, this will, it's naturally, it just kind of pull. Either you fall another extreme, egomanic, or another extreme, you stay like totally kind of tight our own self down, not freeing, not unleashing our potential. It will really kind of imprisonment. So now I think this training, this exercise, when you're doing the bodhicitta motivation, I think this is I think for us at the beginning, we need to take as a training. So basically, let me put this example. Okay, group of people came together. Okay, let's go hiking in Mount Rainier. Let's do that one. But we all have to be a little bit better shape. So you put this kind of like a vision, and there's a process, creating that. So bodhicitta motivation is not so much about, how you say, it's yes, it can reach, or like is it reachable or not reachable, and it can happen now, or it can happen 2025 or I think that's not the issue. I think issue over here at the beginning is there is a training that we do in our daily basis. This project that we're constantly trying to vision a little bit more bigger, more vast. So that's kind of like this kind of like an exercise is really, really important for this kind of karmic, self-judgmental to kind of like putting down. Okay, so project number 1, overcoming paranoia. Project number 2 is to dealing with the karmic heart sutra. That's our daily mind project. Daily mind project. So then I think, yes, we will be a happy person, productive person. And even we live long, great. If we don't live long, that's fine. So anyway, I think if we treat, like for example, do we use yoga commitment, my yoga commitment? Or you say like my yoga commitment, I'm doing my yoga, I'm doing my running commitment. We never say that. I need to run because yesterday I ate really, really crappy food. I have lots of cake, I have lots of cheesecake, I have lots of chocolate cake. I need to run. I need to purify. So I think that's, so fundamentally, I think what I'm saying is, if we treat our Dharma practice overly holy, too holy, and then we may don't touch. Is it holy? Yes, definitely. It's holy. Holy. What is etymology of holy? Divine or holy. Anyway, so so now in the training, now so I think it is a combination working together. You can have that kind of like somehow, like for example, breathing exercise, deep breathing, you're just simply doing that. And same thing, deep visioning. You're visioning really far. You do the, you have 9-round breathing. You can do 9-round bodhicitta visioning. 9-round bodhicitta, like go with the breathing and saying like, I want to really kind of like pushing that kind of vision. I can do that. I want to do that. I can do that. I want to do that. if you say every day 9 times for yourself, I want to do and I will do, obtain enlightenment, purpose of penetrating sentient being. And maybe at the first day you may laugh for yourself, maybe second and third and fourth day, maybe you kind of like, okay, I need to do something with this one. If I have to do this, if I have to recite this every day, then maybe I take a little bit serious and look at that. So again, this is, I think, so how this becomes not just a daydreaming, and to make a more, as I'm saying, like you're saying every day, then now I need to a little bit take serious how I'm going to take this serious. And I think this is the kind of like a feedback. Feedback is basically our daily activity, our daily whatever we do in our life. It is a processing through, six paramita, what is basically lens. It's almost like if you're cooking, good food, you have to have a different ingredients, spices, and the salad, don't have. The beginning, I have really difficulty having salad, but now I think I told one time, my salad eating is more intellectual, it's not emotional. My thukpa and the momo is much more emotional, it's not intellectual. So it's like so I think there's an intellectual awareness element, and there's much more emotional connectional element. It's same with the food, same with the practice, same with everything. So six paramita, the practice of the six paramita is basically some kind of like ingredients, fertilizer, or whatever we're going to call it, to nurture that vision. That vision is don't have to be enlightenment. Maybe the another side of the coin, that vision, other side, is maybe trying to purifying that karmic heart sutra. Maybe we label bodhicitta, beautiful name. End of the day, maybe it's just for maybe the real work is just to heal, purify that karmic heart sutra that we recite for our own self. But it have a beautiful title saying bodhicitta. And we thought we get distracted with the title. Is then we forget because that the actual work, and the bodhicitta can be daydream, and you can go with the daydream. But the another side of the coin, the karmic heart sutra, you cannot daydream. It is real. It's happening, and going there is there's naturally some kind of resistance. So maybe bodhicitta meditation, end of the day, is that the karmic heart sutra that we recite. Everybody recite. Believer in Buddha or not believer in Buddha, everybody who have a mind, pretty much everybody recite that karmic heart sutra. So then when you're looking into the this maybe way of that kind of like a tension, the tension that karmic heart sutra creating, it is released by the practice of generosity, patience, discipline, concentration, joyful effort, and the wisdom. So maybe is basically, let's look at it as like a, when you have a, physical, when you particularly when you're getting after 50, your body have a lot of aches. So let's treat the karmic heart sutra as different aches and pains and things. And then you have this professional, physical therapy or massage therapies, and they go through, they're finding those knots and kind of releasing, or acupuncture or whatever, just kind of releasing. So let's see the Karmic Heart Sutra is so many tensions all around the mind. And let's see the six paramita as a kind of like a massaging and releasing that tension. And each paramita is almost like a pressure point, where there's a point, that you can release. Maybe generosity, first paramita is also releasing some kind of a karmic heart sutra's tension that we have, is releasing. So treating as like a heart, like a six paramita. So now one thing is like, for example, in generosity. Generosity literally, yes, is something kind of giving. And we get distracted. Oh, I have to give. I have to go and do something, donation or something. That's maybe is 10%. 90% of generosity. Kind of that detached word, kind of little bit extreme, but the state of the mind is not hard. His mind is basically 90% is demanding state of the mind to be kind of like open and not kind of strangled with anything. And then giving whatever, any small things or whatever, even it's not necessary to give. Just being in the state of a mind, untangled. So that's an interesting, state of a mind. Okay, how I'm going to do the state of mind, because I want this, I want that. There's so many things. I need that. I need that. So I don't know, satisfaction, looks like a little bit greedy. I don't know, satisfaction, the word, I got it what I want, now I'm satisfied. There's, maybe, I'm not sure. It's not exactly satisfaction, neither it is tangled. So generosity, state of mind is fully open. It is just state of a mind. Yeah, that doesn't mean you doesn't own anything or you doesn't owe anything. This whole thing can happen, but mind is nothing tangled particularly with the self and another. Nothing tangled. Absence of a tangled or holding or demanding or so how that's kind of like fundamentally when you're traveling, when you're in the airport or somewhere, you feel like this is only what I have. I need just these needs. You feel some kind of free. You're not free. You have your own job and everything, but there's due to condition, there's state of mind, kind of like a feeling of free. It's kind of like an illusion, but there is this kind of free feeling. So generosity is something like that. I think state of mind, kind of untangled and kind of creating that space, somehow is okay. This is okay. Generosity, I'll say like, this is okay. It's okay. I don't need more than that. That's okay. Almost like accepted. That's okay. It's hard, it's probably not perfect, but that's okay. That's okay. Usually we say that's not okay. Even at one number drop, we need to close the window, or one number go up, we need to do something. It's okay. It's okay. I think the mantra of it is okay. the mantra of that's okay. You don't have to be nervous. The mantra of okay, generosity, I think is something that's telling that's okay, that's okay. That's okay. I think that's important. And if you overly recited this mantra, then you become so okay, then maybe not too productive. But anyway, everything's relative. So I again here, generosity, basically state of a mind about creating, about accepting. Now look at then. Okay, then you can. Okay, Rinpoche, you say this is acceptance. Should I do with my karmic heart sutra? Acceptance. You can debate. No, I don't want to do. Now here, again, if we react with the karmic heart sutra got us, catch us. Okay, I don't want to. And now dealing with the karmic heart sutra, we need to deal through mantra of okay. If we recite the mantra of not okay, karmic heart sutra is not okay, it's not absolutely okay, and then we are reacting, and basically karmic heart sutra got us again more deeper. It is, it ties us much more deeper. So I think even though karmic heart sutra we want to heal and overcome, but the mantra of okay is, I think, is important. Mantra of not okay, that's, I think, we have to apply very, very little time. Maybe right now we do another way. Mantra of okay is very little. Mantra was not okay is like a 99% all the time. No, that's not okay. This is not okay. This is not okay. So generosity, 90% is just a sense of acceptance and state of mind. And then it have a manifestation characteristic is kind of giving. And that giving is not necessarily intentionally, it is a naturally. Kind of naturally. It's not intention. If the generosity have to be intentionally, then it is a very contrived. And it becomes very, contrived, then it can become complicated. But it's better than not generosity, absolutely. But again, we need to see that different. Natural giving, intentionally giving, and stinginess, not giving, holding, three different things. So accepting and the mantra of okay, natural giving is just condition arrive, and that kind of like a natural action, naturally engaging, not necessarily intentional. Intentional is a very interesting, again, in our daily commitments, there is a generating bodhicitta motivation, and intention is all the time giving very strong emphasis in our daily mind project. Intentional giving have a lots of self-good feeling. It is kind of transitional, transactional, kind of, because I give and I feel good. Although still good, intentional. Natural giving is not transactional. Natural giving it doesn't really, it isn't really that thought recognition doesn't pyrite. It's registered, but it is in low key. Intentional giving, that giving registers in the mind much more stronger. And so again, again, I think what is important is somehow we need to leave behind the intentional while the action is happening. If we put too much intentional in there, it doesn't matter what I'm thinking, my thinking. It becomes a little bit more, there is an expectation. Transitional and expectation, so that giving becomes so for us, intention is, one way is really good, important, but somehow not investing too much into that intention, and somehow trying to go into the natural and that's the dilemma that we face. If I go natural, my heart sutra, karmic heart sutra takes over, and karmic habits takes over, and then it's like no, I don't. If I give this, then what I'm going to eat tomorrow? Like all that kind of like, yeah, I need to accumulate because you have that paranoia kind of like, it tells you keep like accumulation. There's this story. This one practitioner in early time in Tibet, he wants to go to have a, the Buddha Gaya, where he wants to go to do a pilgrimage. That was before 1959. Like he had to walk through all the Tibet, cross all the Himalaya, and then come into this kind of very totally different climate and hot. So he did all this hardship and the motivations that really I want to, pay homage and to where Buddha got enlightened. And that's like a really important. So he took all that cross. And when he got to Bodh Gaya, his budget is, obviously go low, sorry. And then when he get to Bodh Gaya, so then you need to offer, now this is the first, like, okay, he's kind of reaching his, so like he's some excitement, and he wants to buy whatever budget he left. He was trying to buy something to offer. And when trying to buy, then in his mind came like some, okay, if I buy all these things, what I'm going to eat tonight? So his budget is going really down. And there's this kind of dilemma he's facing, like same time, okay, here that he reached his goal. And he wants to make a, like celebration offering. At the same time, his budget is really down. And like there's this dilemma. And then he able to see he's resisting. And then he said like, what the heck, all these things, I make this whole thing purpose. And now here I'm fighting. No way. He's like, took everything. Okay, I have to just kind of like, he cast that kind of like a holding back. And he's, no, that's, I don't deserve this. And then he says like, make everything, whatever he had, like just from the heart, make an offering. And then went to the, Bodh Gaya stupa shrine and make it offering to Buddha, and really feel deeply appreciated and kind of like feeling of touchdown, spiritually touchdown, like the celebrate. And then he come back, then come back, and yeah, nothing, yeah, it's fine. Then I think he met his friend, some another pilgrimage people. And they say, oh yeah, we met, talking, and they say, yeah, I have nothing, you have some place me to stay or to give me something to eat. Yes, no problem. And somehow then we kind of, maybe the conventional minds will say, no, you keep some for at least 2-3 days worth of money, this and that, and logic and reasons and fears and paranoia. But sometimes, that kind of mind is very powerful. Suddenly, like, you cut through everything, cut through all the, paranoia, which is backed up by logic and reasons. Boom, and here. And this teacher, this master, later part of his life, he became so wealthy, materially so wealthy. And sometimes he kind of like, it kind of, he kind of like, that's the, made that time I made that offering, and that offering, I made it with a really dilemma, fight with the dilemma and overcome. And I made that kind of like a decision and choice. He kind of dedicates to that one. That must be the karmic result. That must be the, so again, it is, so what that really means is over here is overly, because we are so intellectual and overly we analyze so much. We overanalyzed. So this is again, we need to find some kind of a balance. Overanalyzing, overly analyze, overly, and a resolve is basically paralyzed. Not able to, everything is very scary. Everything is very scary. So basically, what I'm saying over here is bodhicitta is this kind of vision, training in a vision. And how are we going to, how we move forward? Should we move forward only intellectual, or we move some with the heart and feeling? So 6 paramita, you can divide it. There's only one within the 6. There's only one kind of intellectual, and 6 another within the 5 is just heart. Let me say, like from generosity to up to like a concentration is just kind of like a heart, and the wisdom paramita is a little bit like the thinking. So like a 6 paramita. So let's think that way. 90% is the heart, and there is a 10% is the thinking, analyzing. In our daily life, we are another way. We are upside down. We think 90% we think, we analyze, and the gut, the heart, to 1%, very, very little, little. So 6 paramita design, I think, is kind of like shifts. It's not only hard, just like I feel it and there's no kind of awareness, it can be disaster. So 6 paramita, you can see that. So basically, as earlier talking, this paranoia is overly thinking. Yeah, it makes sense. Mindfulness meditation, Mahamudra meditation becomes very, very popular because there is a message that don't think. So justified not thinking. I like that. I need break from my thinking. And then plus, and then is a practice, is great. So basically, I think at the end of the day, I think how to balance, to basically, when we buy food they have this behind, it have the whole list. So maybe our thought should have, when you have this kind of paranoid thought having quite strong, then maybe we have to lead the side effect, the list of the side effect. What's going to happen? Okay, this. Okay, sorry. So, I don't know, it's strange. So my point over here, fundamentally, not overly treating our daily practice as a too holy, and much more treating as a project, mind project. So that's what really, more down to earth rather than something that kind of like a holy and divine. And I think we like that mysticisms of our practice. We like that, yes, because the regular movies are really boring. So our daily commitments and these things practice gives some kind of mysticism, something that we can go and, take a walk around and there's a really good feeling. So maybe time to time mysticism may be good, but then if we stay too long, we'll ruin our mysticism. So therefore, I'll say like time to time to bring down to earth, because so and at the end, like mind is very mystery, and and we as an individual person can take a journey of a mind, being alive, as a very mystery. It's good to say living very mystery is positive or negative. I don't know. What I mean is a mystery means, what I mean is a unconventional state of awareness. So basically what I'm saying always like a perception, ordinary perception and divine perception. In the end of the day, perceptions is the how we shape who we are. Okay, so the yogi and Mahasiddhas and these kind of like their perceptions are different, so they are like a little bit kind of like unordinary. so anyway, my point over here is a perception is something that we need to work, and in the paramita, now again, in the project of a mind, and mind is 100% about perceptions, is working with what you perceive, how it's experienced, so much is the path. The first thing is that connection, that how it perceives. So again, there's this area that in our daily commitment or daily mind project, one thing we have to work is working with a perception. Again, perception is the perfect environment where it can grow. If we don't, where it can grow many different things, can grow more paranoia, or it can grow more belief and trust and strength. So perception is like the field. Perception is like the field. So again, I think we have to have some kind of like a treadmill where we can train our perception. I'm doing my perception workout. What that means, my perception workout. I don't know. It's my Dharma talks become every day it become weird and weird and weird. I'm not intentionally trying to make a weird, but it's becoming weird by naturally. It's not intention. It's just coming like that. I don't know what's going wrong with me, but something is going wrong. Maybe it's going right. I don't know. So perception treadmill. So what that looks like, perception treadmill, is basically you are doing the same thing, saying whatever things appear doesn't exist. As it appear doesn't exist. That's the like a perception training. Deconstructing the habit, what creates, like, yeah, this is that's it. And there's a perception treadmill. I think at the beginning, obviously, it will drive you nuts and crazy. Like, this is the things, whatever appear doesn't exist. the morning you have a coffee and you get up and you have to do this exercise and treadmill thing, whatever, if it doesn't exist, you think it is nuts, it's crazy. I don't want to do that. But that looks very crazy, but that is a really, if we are successful for that treadmill, perception treadmill, fundamental therapy, all the psychology problem will go out. Everything will be perfect. Maybe for psychology and therapists, maybe they can graduate after they went through this treadmill, 3-year retreat of a perception treadmill. Yeah, so anyway, it is almost like now what I'm trying to talk over here is like with the 6 parameter, the 5 are the heart, and the 6th is the kind of like a head, kind of like a thinking, kind of like analyzing. But there is the important part, that heart to become open, to heart, the first 4 to become genuine and open, really good. The 6th are very important. That kind of like a head is a little bit important. We cannot discredit the head. It's very important. And the more we, this is almost like the wisdom parameter is clearing the cloud, the overcasting, the obscuration for the heart. There's a habit, there's a karma, and there's many different things. It's an overcast shadow. It is obscured. The heart is blocked. Heart is blocked. What you call this? People who have a heart problem, then we have clogged. There's a clogged. So therefore, that clogged is cleared by the wisdom. And once that and awareness naturally flow, heart is open. That doesn't look nice. that's kind of poetic, little bit. So that clogged. So to able to open hearts, clogged need to be that. What word will be like clogged need to be cleared? What will be medical terminology? There must be something that clogged. And that clogged again, obviously, I was talking about a treadmill, the perception. What is it? I said perception treadmill. Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
The perception treadmill. Yes, we have to do the perception treadmill, running again and again. Yes, it is a boring little bit. Running on a treadmill is boring, no? Yes. And then people have to wear headphones, have a television, and so many things to kill the time for the treadmill. So that clock to able to open the heart, the rest of the 5 parameter, that treadmill, perception treadmill. And the first thing is very annoying. Yes, it's very annoying. First things you have to do, the perception treadmill. Whatever things I see doesn't exist. Whatever things appear doesn't exist. Imagine that. Whatever appears doesn't exist. Oh, I need something different. Can I do mantra? Can I do another thing? Can I, while doing, we like to do multitask, like all the time. To kill this one, we're trying to create something, and to create that, to create something. So I think one thing, I think, for mind project or mind commitment, whatever, I think mind project, this treadmill, the workout, mind workout, this boring mind workout, I think is really important, because without that workout, we climb a little bit, then we already kind of like what you call like exhausted. We're trying to do Shine meditation, we're exhausted, we got anything, even within the 9, even we didn't get the first one, just getting first one, we are exhausted, spiritually exhausted. So that treatment, that treadmill or workout, bodhicitta workout is kind of nice feeling, Tonglen is very popular in the West because you can give it, you're taking, it's fun. It's kind of like, and that doesn't get that far because we haven't done the fundamental workout, that boring one. That boring one. That doesn't taste good. That doesn't feel good. In the Tibetan medicine, Tibetan medicine or natural medicine never have a strawberry flavor. They give this kind of all the herbs and give, like you close your nose and you take it. There's no strawberry flavor or blueberry flavor. So this is, I think this is for wisdom meditation. I think this is sometimes we get into bodhicitta and these things. I think one thing we have to have this perception treadmill. This one is something's really boring. It doesn't, kind of weird, but I think there's no way, another way. I don't know. We have to do that boring one. And that kind of like a self-therapy, that kind of like a self-workout will create really, really, I think, powerful foundation for opening rest of the heart, 5 paramitas. And all things, I think, pretty much it's really like a, I think like for example, in our physical level, we say, okay, deep breath, take a deep breath, do it 5 times, immediately we can release for certain extents the tension. Deep breath. I think this now in awareness level, this awareness treadmill, basically saying, reflecting mantra about this, whatever appearing doesn't exist. Whatever I see doesn't exist. This mantra, appearing and existence, appearing and belief. There's this some kind of appearing, whatever appearing or whatever we appear and whatever we see, and the conclusion, not concluding. It's not negating what we appear. This treadmill, awareness workout treadmill, is fundamentally trying to avoid that judgmental of and onto reality, conclusion for the reality. And that kind of like a taking aback, that kind of a conclusion of a nature of existence is not trying to have any conclusion. It's just kind of like open up much more further conclusion rather than as seen as the ultimate conclusion. That's it. That's the problem. That's it. So out of this treadmill, perception treadmill, is this kind of like ascertainment, and that's it. Conclusion of reality based on our own paranoia and the perceptions. Kind of like letting go a little bit. But it doesn't mean I don't want to conclude anything, but whatever conclusion in a reality, whatever we perceive, there is no attachment to that. There is no some sense of ownership, and that's it. There's this kind of aggression is a drop. Simple as that, just dropping that. No reaction. Just respond. Kindness, openness, no reaction. For that, respond. Okay? So the word, this treadmill, appearing and things doesn't exist. They are not, it little bit looks like harsh. Maybe it's good to have a little bit harsh at the beginning. That makes us more stronger, but naturally growing openness of the conclusion of a reality rather than closing up into the conclusion of reality. So it's a much more open. Yeah, yes, but still it can open. So basically what happened is perception and the conclusion of reality, when you have a much more openness, our reaction naturally drops because it's not, that's it. It's right or wrong. You see, that's it. Once you have a that's it, then only option, you are cornered. Karmically, you are cornered. So yeah, anything when you're cornered, yeah, it will going to jump back. So here is basically this treadmill, perception treadmill. So first we do perception treadmill, and then we do the paranoia losing training, and then we do the those things, you know, like different workouts for the mind. So fundamentally, this whole thing is state of mind to be in the nature. What time is it?
12:45.
12:45. 12:45. Okay, we'll stop. So we'll take a lunch break soon. Maybe something happened on the Highway 5, North 5. Some deity entered in me. North. Yes.
When you use the word paranoia in my head, that means when I think of the word paranoia, it means unjustified fear. You're being fooled. When you have paranoia, it means that you're afraid of something that really doesn't exist. Is that based on the first treadmill, which is nothing, is as it appears? For instance, a concrete example.
Mm-hmm.
I have many grandchildren that I love very much, and my children, and I perceive that the environment is changing. And that my grandchildren, they may not even have a world to live in, or the people are going to be suffering so much around the world, and animals, everything is changing so quickly. So in my head, that's not in my head. That's not paranoia.
No,
it's
that's
a
not
fact to me.
Yeah, that's not paranoia.
But makes me very sad, makes me very worried, helpless, nothing I can do, unless nothing is as it appears. Everything changes, nothing I can do, but just love, right? I don't know how to,
Yes, it's a good point. Now, we all went through recently, this heat, very strong heat. Now all the grounds are dry. Maybe future is there's no more ground. There are possibilities, all these things. And that's a fact. And that healthy fear is very important. Now, when it becomes healthy fear as a paranoia, so we have that awareness, and then so how we measure that becomes paranoia, although it is a fact, it started based on a healthy fear, healthy concern, awareness. But so when it's a paranoia, when it's coming is paranoia is a behavior of the mind. Even things can be real and facts, still we can fall into the paranoia, because paranoia is defined not necessarily something not real. Unreal can also create paranoia, also real can also create paranoia. And so what that really means is, in both cases, the behavior of a paranoia is basically, it is holding more stronger. The grips into that stronger and stronger and stronger. Then that awareness really, it is a transforming into the paranoia, I think. That's my thinking. It's just that the minute, because the pain is same pain. Fact or without real fact. The experience of a paranoia, I think basically I think that it's when the degree of a grasping into that phenomena, existent phenomena or non-existent phenomena, when it's that kind of getting into the fear. And then that's paranoia, I think. So for us, it's really important is basically, okay, this is a situation, as you mentioned, either I love, and how we get into the love and giving, because this paranoia is very strong. So for us, basically, facts, awareness, healthy fear. Now there's an intersection. We go to compassion or we go to paranoia. So basically, once we reach into certain, I think we have to be our own measure, kind of like a mindful process. And the intersection, our own intersection, imaginary intersection, go to compassion, or then we dig more deeper, and then basically paralyze our own self, not able to give or compassionate. So that's, I think, what I think is a paranoia is a state of a behavior, extreme behavior of a state of a mind, which basically kind of becomes a little bit more obsession. Obsession. That's basically, it have a behavior of obsession, and it pains bigger than, larger than life. And even sometimes it can, I think there's many different characters it can manifest, and to making that not believing into these facts are in one extreme. And believing, and then we fall into the paranoia can become one extreme. So I think how we strike the balance, believe on the facts, that's really, scientific and very reality. And then how we go into the mode of giving and kindness. Yeah, it's sometimes, nihilistic can happen. Paranoia can create very nihilistic. One extreme, very nihilistic. So yes, although it's real facts, but potential, if we overly emphasize the real facts, can become, I think it's a paranoia and nihilistic. Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Stop here. Thank you. Then we do maybe the 100 syllable Vajrasattva mantra.
Okay.
We just recite that one. Okay, so so I think this, I mean, like particularly this during the pandemic time, His Holiness really encouraged recite Dharma mantra. Recite Dharma mantra. And there's a lots of emphasis into kind of like a connecting with the Idam Tara. So now again, for us, what that really means, how we connect with that. And obviously, yes, first thing for us, go with the manifestation, that kind of warmth, that kind of giving. That's good, but for long term, I think we need to connect from inside out rather than outside in. What I mean that is, right now we are quite kind of caught with the manifestation, and slowly we need to let go of that, and connecting with the enlightened quality we call enlightened activity of all the Buddhas and manifesting in the Mother Tara. So here, the basically culture of awareness in enlightened world is different. How we culture of awareness, how we structure things, a reality in our world, that's slightly different. So when you're connecting with that Mother Tara and the Yidam's deity, if we take very strong our culture of awareness, how we construct the reality, we may lost many things on the translation of awareness of the Yidam. We may lost many things. So intentionally, we need to draw that way of constructing that kind of reality. So basically, outside in, inside out. These two things, what I'm saying is in samsaric world, we construct a reality outside in. And in enlightened world, maybe the more from inside out, the manifestation is just secondary. And the nature plays a very important role. So now over here, I think for us at the beginning, like a Yidams, and when we're trying to connecting, obviously, instinctively we connect from the aspect, but slowly we kind of lose, letting going that kind of aspect and trying to see as the nature of that enlightened being. So what that means, the nature of enlightened activity manifesting in this manifestation of a Tara, what that corresponds with where we are and what really that represent. As I think these things are a little bit, now we as a human being, we have a driven energy, this kind of like, whatever that degree or level, but we all have the driven energy. I think that driven energy, that's, I think, what's the Mother Tara, the liberator, the action, the engaging, is blessing that part of our human engaging energy, driven energy, to having much more healthier, much more productive, much more consistent. So that's, I think, what's enlightened activity. And when we say healthy over here, is much more in a virtue way. So anyway, so that's kind of like a way to, and the one thing I think is an important part is that when we're doing this kind of praise and mantra recitation, and when you're connecting with the deity, that's much more kind of like a, usually devotion and faith, which is the key thing. And the devotion and faith is much more kind of intuition driven rather than logic. Logic can help, but It's much more kind of intuition, devotion, and faith, connection, and even sometimes we say, no, somehow I feel very connected. We have no reason to explain, just I feel that way. So devotion is something like this. So here, when we say Mother Tara, I think this kind of like a unlogically constructed, not logic kind of basis, but kind of like much more kind of intuition way, something that you're not trying to reconstruct it, you're not looking how it constructed, you can just feel it. And that kind of a connection, I think the devotion and faith is something like that. We, sometimes we all the time trying to look at reconstructed, regenerated, repeating and a repetition, and maybe connecting. When you're doing the Tara praise and things and sadhanas and anything, it's just like it's kind of like a fresh, you're connecting just on the intuition level rather than kind of like a logical level. So anyway, it became a little bit complicated. I didn't meant to be a little bit complicated, the devotion talk, but it went to a little bit. Anyway, so basically our karmic driven energy transforming blessing very healthy way due to recitation of the Tara mantra, devotion to Tara, and yeah, that's kind of things, okay. Omo jomden de ma pama droma la cha tse lu chanza droma dari hebe mo tu darai jigwen za ma turi tena tamje de ma soa yigi jilarandu Omo jamden de ma pama droma la cha tse lu chanzan droma dari hebe mo tu darai jigun zama turi tena tanje de ma soa yingi jilarandu Omo jamden de ma pama droma la chanzalu chanzan droma dari bemu tu dara yin jigun sama turi dana tamjen dema soa yingin jilara vadu Omo jamden dema pama droma la chanzalu chanzan droma dari bemo tu dara yin jigun sama turi tena danje dema soa yigi chilara du dari du dari duri soa 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 dari du dari duri soa
Om dare do dare do re zo. Om dare do dare do re. Om dare do dare do re zo. 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 Okay. Now, Vajrasattva mantra before we, now, of course, we know the aspect, Vajrasattva. Now, again, kind of same thing over here, the manifestation connecting to the Vajrasattva, connecting to the manifestation, the nature, or from the nature, then connecting to the aspect. So again, over here, I think when you're doing the Vajrasattva practice, we need to feel, you have this kind of very challenging physical issues. And suddenly you hear there's this kind of medicine that will cure, and this is very effective, no side effect, and this whole the good news, no side effect, not expensive, not too long term, but this whole kind of very, very accessible. And the feeling you have, like there is the feeling that, yes, I like to take that healing medicine. That's kind of like, yes, I like to take that healing medicine. No side effect, no accessible, like all that good things. So, so here, Vajrasattva, the deity, the manifestation, we need to see as that kind of like a medicine kind of manifest into that kind of like a, kind of like a living being. Maybe in a way, this is the method how the enlightened state of awareness connecting to us. We have to have the program of aspect. Maybe aspect is in the world of enlightenment, the aspect is maybe nothing is a big deal. It is not really it is something application or app to connect with us. Dharma or Vajrasattva is just like an app that connects with us, just the app. And sometimes we get so amazed with just the app, not the behind the app. So it's just maybe, so in essence, in the nature, the Vajrasattva is some kind of, like what is specific difference between the Tara and Vajrasattva? Vajrasattva is much more embodiment of all the enlightened wisdom. So let me put this wisdom in something that foundation of all enlightened strength, foundation of enlightened state of a mind. So anyway, and that manifestation is just like an app. It's just like on the screen, you have that icon, that. Yeah. You just have that. One is a Tara, one is a Bodhisattva. Okay, so in behind that is basically, so here what we are doing is, when you're doing Vajrasattva purification practice and we're reciting the mantra, and fundamentally we are trying to connecting with the enlightened wisdom, basically that. And the icon of that aspect, in a way, is important, but we should not get whole distracted with that icon. Same with the enlightened activity, the Tara.
yes, this is good to orienting for our own self.
Om Bhaja Sada Samaya Malu Balaya Bhaja Sada Deno Bhatinda Deda Mebava Sugajaya Mebava Sugajaya Mebava Anuradu Mebava Sawa Zidi Mebayanza Sawa Gama Shujan Chidam Jiyam Guru Ha 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 Hu Bhagavan Ayadada gada vaja mame minza banje bava ma samaya zadu ahum be om vaja zadva samaya malu balaya vaja zadva deno bandi dindo me bava zuyayu me bava zuboyayu me bava Anuradu me bava zava zedi me baya zava gama shucha chidam shriyam guru ha 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 bhagava zava dada gada vaja mami minza bhaje bhava ma samaya sadhu Om Bhaja Zava Zamaya Malu Bhavaya Bhaja Sadva Deno Bhandi Dido me bava, zubogayo me bava, zubogayo me bava, anurado me bava, sawa siddhi me bhayanza, sawa gama suja, chidam shriyam guru, ha ha ho, bhagavan, sawa dada gada bhaja mame, Banjem Baba Ma Samaya Sadhu Ahumbe Om Banja Sadva Samaya Malubalaya Bhaja Sadva Deno Bhai Dijo Me Baba Zudo Yayo Me Baba Zubo Yayo Me Baba Hanarada Me Baba Zawa Zedi Me Bayanza Zawa Gama Sujan Chidam Shriyam Guru Ha Bhagavan Savadada Gada Bhaja Mame Bhajan Baba Ma Samaya Sadhu Ahumbe Om Bhaja Sadva Samaya Malabalaya Bhaja Sadva Deno Dido me bawa, zubojayo me bawa, zubojayo me bawa, anurado me bawa, zawasedi me Sawagama Jujame Jidam Jiyam Guru Ha 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 Hu Bhaga Sawadada Gandam Bhajama Minza Bhajem Bhava Ma Samaya Sadhu Ahum Pe Om Bhaja Sadva Samaya Malubalaya Bhaja Sadva Deno Bhaja Dido me bawa, zubungayo me bawa, zubungayo me bawa, anuradu me bawa, zava zidi me bayanza, zava gama shuja. Chidam jiyam guru, ha 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 ha, vu bhagavan. Tada gata bhajama minza bhaje. Ma samaya sadhu.
In the snowy mountain land, you're the source of food and happiness. Flowers, roses, and angels chant receive. May you stay until samsara ends.
May the spiritual mantra lead me in this path. All spiritual friends who practice the path of life.
May I pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances.
Grant
Grant
me
inspiration.
May the lives of the venerable spiritual mentors be
stable. May virtuous actions spread in 10 directions.
May the life of the listening teaching displays the
All
darkness.
the beings of the three worlds. Always encourage.
In the Mitripa, we have one student, and he's like general, not necessarily identifies as a Buddhist, but inspired meditation and philosophy. And one day we have a session, kind of like our class, our session. And he said, I don't understand this long life thing. He says, like, because in the class they recite, he says, like, I don't know what are these long life things. And I said, and I said, like, basically you're telling to gurus, do exercise and eat good food. Because we need you. Yeah, so anyway. Changju Semjo Rinpoche Magye Panamgi Geba Nyamba Meba Yankong Gondu Peva Jo Pama Simjen Damje Dedan Dengyu Jing Yendro Damje Datu Changju Semba Kanon Sujuba Teda Gwingi Melam Juji Jambe Pavichi Darakan Kundu Sangbo Teyan Teshinden Teda Gwingi Jesu Dam Gyawan dida tamje rabdu tuzum shekbe gyawa tamje yengwa kangla chodo dajin gyewe zawan di gwengyang sangbo chuje rabdu. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, all mine, thank you, all mine, thank you, thank you.